The date today is May 16th. The time is 5:30 p.m. This is the meeting of the Paris City Council, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. We will start the meeting with invocation by Mr. Gene Anderson, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Ms. Lancaster. If I can have, please, everyone stand.
We lost Gene.
I'm sorry?
Gene had to go get something.
Who's going to do it? You want to do it? Janice?
Oh, there's Gene.
Let's have him do some private prayer first. Mary, pray. Heavenly Father, we're indeed thankful again to be here tonight, Father. We're thankful for our public representatives, Father, and all that they do in their volunteer hours. We just pray that you'd guide and direct them. Father, we thank you for all those who are attending and their interest, Father, in the government of our city and all the actions that it does. We just pray again for your guidance and direction, and we thank you for every blessing. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is the Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city, council members, or employees, as well as individual personnel appeals, are not appropriate for the Citizens Forum. The Citizens Forum is now open. If you want to address, please come in, write your name and address for the record.
My name is Jim Bell, Nathan Bell, but I prefer to be called Jim. I reside at 720 39th Southeast, Paris, Texas. And I am here representing a number of folks. I noticed in the Paris News article they at least left it open somewhat concerning the flooding. Would like to remind the council and everyone present that from experience in things, the flooding started in 2200 block of Lamar, of East Price Street, went down, meandered, and crossed Lamar, as y'all have known many, many times it flooded, down towards Hubbard Crossing and running behind and west of 26 Southeast. Those homes along 26 and Culbertson, a number of those places flooded not once but twice at a cost, when they were cleaned up by professionals, of anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000 expenses assumed twice. The work done by the city many years ago was supposed to alleviate the problem. The first rain had more rain than the second rain. The second rain caused more damage than the first rain. Part of that was due to the fact that debris in the creek was not cleaned out. It's very difficult to clean that creek out because of the fencing and things like that. The city may have equipment for it, but it's a situation where that debris gets stopped up against those culverts, and if it's not cleaned out, the water can't move on. Along 31st and East Houston, 3000 block of East Houston, crossing over into Lamar and down 31st Southeast, that also had flooding. These are areas that I'm most familiar with. Going back to 26th Street, when the council gets an opportunity to drive around Collegiate and look at Collegiate Drive back towards the 2700 block of Clarksville. That is the largest section of the creek width-wise, and at one time was depth-wise, but it was never concreted, and it is full of sand. That would cross Clarksville and run on the city property, which would give you an opportunity to put holding ponds in and things like this. It doesn't take, it's going to take a lot of engineering, but it doesn't take anyone within common sense can go look and see where the water backed up, where the water went over the streets and not through the culverts, and realize where some work needs to be done. I bring it to your attention because it desperately does need to be addressed. There are people losing values in their homes, businesses, and things like that. Businesses along Lamar Avenue flooded. If you need specifics and so on, happy to share them with you. Got my 2 minutes in. But there's a lot of places that need a lot of attention. Thank you.
My name is Billy Bell. I live at 2054 Cleveland Street. We rented the old bingo building this last Saturday for a reception for my granddaughter's wedding. We had no air conditioning whatsoever. The boxes had locks on some of them. No ceiling fans. I found out today that if I'd have went into the mechanical room, which I have no business in there, and start throwing breakers, I was first told there was a switch on the door that turned the fans on. They wasn't. My wife and a friend of hers went out there Friday and was showed the place, but never told anything about that. When I returned the key this morning, the lady I talked to at the Public Works deal said the man that went out there said it was in great shape as far as being returned in the shape it was in. We did the tables like we were told, place them along the wall. Well, whenever I registered my complaints, the superintendent supposedly went back out there and come back and told her that chairs wouldn't put up or was broken glass in front of the doors. Well, I don't know the man, but he lied. We had no glass in that building to start with. The chairs were all put back in their racks and everything else. Number one, the price that we had to pay for the building, which is nobody's fault, y'all said it and we accepted it, but it's totally ridiculous for the benefit of what we got out of that building with no air and nothing else. I mean, we had helium balloons and they never moved an ounce floating. So I'm very disappointed in it. And then he says there was all the cleanup stuff in the housekeeping room back there. There was one deck broom, one mop, and a straw broom. There was no dust mop, heads, or anything else. The broom parts was there, but there was no heads or nothing else. So I hope y'all can either get that situation straightened out, because I'm not gonna recommend it to anybody under the circumstances that we got it. And then they tell me, well, you had another key on there, you could have went in any locked door there is. No, that ain't the way you do things when you rent a place. You're given the instructions of what can be done. And she said, oh yeah, they turn the fans off back there at the breaker box. Well, I don't know what's in that breaker box. I don't have any idea what it goes to or anything else. And if it had burnt down, then I'm sure that I'd have been responsible for turning breakers on. But I would like to get some kind of answer and everything. I'm upset about how he comes back when he goes out there the second time and all he finds the broke glass and the chair. No, that was a lie. I guarantee you.
We'll get with you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
My name's Tim Bullock. I reside at 4025 Dawn Drive, and I'm a member of the Airport Advisory Board. I just want to say thank you to the City of Paris, to the Chamber of Commerce, to the law enforcement agencies, and those that made Wings Over Paris a great success this Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. It was beautiful.
My name is Chris Thornton. I live at 1135 Old Jefferson Road, and my neighbor is also here tonight. She lives at 1017. And since we've lived there now 2 years, I have called city department heads myself and gotten them on the phone and reported trash, drainage. I've had to call them back out after the shredders come by and shred the ditches, and they just drive right by our property. We also own the 7 acres of land behind our house at 1135. And it's been a continuous thing of buildup of trash in the drainage ditch that goes along the properties from 6 Southeast all the way to 12 Southeast. There's a 3 foot, 4 foot wide, 3 foot, 4 foot deep drainage ditch that when we purchased this home, it said in the paperwork that the City of Paris is supposed to maintain this. I've done more in the 2 years to maintain that ditch by digging it out and literally just crawling in the muck and mud than the City of Paris has in the streets surrounding it. Because I've had to literally call to get them to come out in the cut ditches or the dig ditches. And the problem is the water gets down there and we're just a forgotten area because the water always goes that way, no matter if it's a big rain or a small rain. And when you have ditches that are cut to where there's drainage at each end, but the water has to go uphill and it sits like this in our ditches, it sits there for weeks at a time on a small rain. And it's mosquito infested everywhere. There's property directly across of our home that has been unkept for as long as I've lived in Paris, and that's 33 years. There's a massive pond over there that's filled with snakes, and every time it gets a mild rain, it overflows and it drains for weeks at a time. There's property east of 12 Southeast that they lease out for people that hold cattle and everything, and it remains unkempt. And there's homeless people that live in both of these properties. I've witnessed them coming in and out of those woods all the time. Trash, it will accumulate in the ditches. It will stop up any drainage ditch. They come down those roads. I'm so tired of picking up trash that I have no choice but to do it, because I don't want to get code enforcement called upon me for failure to maintain our property. We do that, but it's so flooded in our property right now. I've got grass almost 3 feet high, if not higher, that I can't cut it because the ground is so saturated from all the intense flooding. And just to let everybody know, we had over a foot deep water inside of our home at this point, at the worst time, and that was with the second rain, even though that the most rain came from the first. We shouldn't have to call the City of Paris department heads. We should be able to just make a simple phone call and say, hey, we have a problem. But in 2 years, I've hardly seen anything.
Thank you again for bringing it to our attention, but hopefully your problems will get addressed.
All right, thank you.
Ma'am, do you want to add something, or?
Yes.
Sure.
My name is Donna Cooper. I stay at 1017 Old Jefferson Road, a neighbor of Chris too. And I just want to have a concern. I bought my property in '08. And since '08, because we, on that side, we cut the grass, you know, keep it cut and try to clean out the ditches. But the ditches are just so small. And I'm thinking that we need bigger ones like they have on the other end, up there by the church. And they always come down and cut in front of the property and shred it and everything. I guess because we keep ours cut on that side. They never come through to cut it, do no carrying in front of our house on that side. When you drive down there, you'll see this side is clean, but the other side, it looks terrible, you know. But anyway, I had to call law enforcement several times for the homeless peoples that was living right in front, because we was scared to exit our homes and stuff like that they were just living over there. And then they had moved down on the other end of Old Jefferson, like going towards Paris High School, and they had moved over in the woods. It had got so bad one time in front of 1017, I mean, you could just walk out. They had put like one of them old food courts over there. And then that's when I started calling the law enforcement, and they wrote it down, and they did a good job, because they used to come by and check, try to catch them, you know, over in there. And they only wasn't no homeless people. They even had their children living over there. The homeless people had their kids over there living too, sir.
Thank you very much. And
Okay,
hopefully
thank
we'll
you.
get your problems addressed.
My name is Sonny Ald, and I live at 950 Old Jefferson Road, and I'm the third person consecutively here to speak to you tonight about Old Jefferson Road and the flooding problem in that road area. Our property is on the opposite side of the road of Ms. Cooper, who just spoke to you, and we also have flooding in that area. We have a bar ditch that runs the entire length in front of our property and all of those properties on that side, and there's culverts underneath the driveway. Those bar ditches are not dug out unless we continually call the city and ask over and over and over for them to come and clear out that ditch. And there's residue in there, has already been addressed tonight. There's dirt that comes down from the sides of the ditches. It has to be dug out periodically. And we see constantly city trucks, pickup trucks going up and down that road, and they can see that it needs being dug out, but they will not come until we call 3 and 4 times for somebody to come dig that out. And they know that it needs to be dug out, but they ignore it until we call 3 and 4 times. There should be culverts put on that side of the road over there. Should actually be culverts on both sides of the road, so that they don't get 2 feet and 3 feet and 4 feet of water in their houses, and so that we don't get flooding all the way up out of those bar ditches and into our yard. This past rainfall, We had so much rain coming through that bar ditch that it flooded into the yard and across the street, and we saw people going down Old Jefferson Road, saw that the water was across the road, and turned around and went back because they could not get through there. It is a problem on Old Jefferson Road that must be addressed.
Thank you very much.
Also, if y'all would like to see pictures, I have pictures. If
Actually,
y'all like
ma'am,
to see
I
some.
already have the pictures.
Oh, do you?
and so I'm
Okay
going to present
then.
them.
Okay then, thank you.
Yeah. If there's nobody else wanting to address the Citizens Forum, the Citizens Forum is now closed. We'll move to the next agenda item. The next agenda item is proclaiming and declaring the week of May 15th as National Police Week. Whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in the communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Paris Police Department. There have been 15,725 assaults against law enforcement officers in 2014, resulting in over 13,000 injuries. Since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty, including William Albright, William Schultz, Dwayne Cross, and David Roberts of the Paris Police Department. The names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. 252 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 123 officers killed in 2015 and 129 killed in the previous year. The services and sacrifices of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Police Week. May 15th is designated as the Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-mast. Therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Paris formally designates May 15, 2016 as Paris Police Week in Paris and publicly salutes the services of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. I'd like to ask Officer Jeff Padilla, Clifton Mitchell, Sergeant Robert Milton, and Dustin Calhoun to please come forward and receive the proclamation. Next item on the agenda is recognition of the services of John Wright to the City of Paris. I'd like all of his family to please stand. All of us would like to take a moment to remember and honor John Wright. Mr. Wright was a member of this council and served as the mayor pro tem. Mr. Wright was a staunch ally and believed in doing what was right. While he was involved in solving many issues brought before the City Council, I want to bring to everyone's attention the help and support of Mr. Wright in getting the water and sewer line replacement project started for the citizens of our city. He was a dear friend and will be missed. If we can please all stand and take a moment of silence. I ask his family to please come and receive this recognition. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Any of the council members have any concerns or issues with items on the consent agenda? None?
None.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? No. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is item number 10. Discuss and conduct the first public hearing on an ordinance disannexing 3 tracts of land being 1.16, 2.45, and 160 acres of total of 164 acres in size located in southeastern corner of Chisholm Abstract number 175 and northeastern corner of Bullard Abstract number 70, which is 0.75 miles northwest of the intersection of FM Highway 79 and Northwest Loop 286, with the 1.16 acre and 160.7 acre tract being located along the north side of FM Highway 79 and 2.45 acres tracts being located along the south side of FM Highway 79 and consisting of addresses ranging from 3194 FM Highway 79 to 3930 FM Highway 79 of the City of Paris, Lamar County, Texas. This is the first public hearing. Anyone wanting to speak for or against is more than welcome to come forward. If there is nobody wanting to
My name is Joyce Lay. We've been out there approximately 50 years, 3248 FM 79, and we have not had one thing. The city has not given us one thing. No sewer, nothing. And we think it's time that we be annexed. I appreciate this very much. We're on a fixed income. My husband and I are retired, and we need all the help we can get. Thank you very much.
My name is Steve Darling, I reside at 3356.
Ma'am, can you please bring the mic closer to you?
Sorry. My name is Deidre Dollins. I reside at 3356 FM 79. And I also agree with Ms. Lay. We were annexed in 2000, and here it's 2016, and we have never received any services. So, I mean, we believe that we should be disannexed. So, do I need to-
Thank you very much. Please.
Hello, my name is Ronald Dockery. I've been there 40 years, built my house there, and yeah, we just want out as soon as we can get out. No services.
I'm sorry. That's what I just heard. But this is what was posted. Okay. Thank you, Billy.
If there's nobody else wanting to speak, the public hearing is now closed. There'll be a second public hearing in the next council meeting. Item number 11 is discuss and act on resolution canvassing the returns of the general municipal election held on May 7, 2016 for Council District 6, declaring the winner in the said election, acknowledging the results of prior council actions, declaring candidates as elected to the office for Council District 1, 2, and 3 as a result of having been unopposed for election to the office, declaring the terms of the office making other findings and provisions related to the subject and providing an effective date. Janice?
Yes. Aaron Jenkins in District 1, Sue Lancaster in District 2, and Billy Trinado in District 3 were unopposed. And in District 7, we had an election, and Cleon Holmes Drake received the
Not
majority.
District 7, Janice.
I'm sorry, District 6, on May the 7th, received the majority of the votes. I'm asking that you approve the resolution, which places these 4 candidates in office for the next 2 years.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. Go to the next and then vote after that.
The recognition of the outgoing council
Yeah.
members.
2 of the council members are leaving us this time. Mr. Plata is one of them, and Mr. Pickle is the second person. I have plaques for Mr. Plata. Mr. Pickle is not here, so we will send his plaque over. We appreciate all your services, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Item number 13 is issuance of certificate of election, administer statement of elected officers to council members, and administration of oath of office to newly elected council members. Yes.
If I could ask the 4 candidates to meet me down front, and we'll do the oath of office.
Mr. Trinado?
Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state. And the charter and ordinances of this state. And I further solemnly swear that I have not directly nor indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, nor promised to contribute any money or valuable thing, or promised any public office or employment as a reward for giving or withholding a vote in the election which I was elected. So help me God. Thank you all very much. And I can give you all the sign. There's 2 pages here.
Now that the new council is seated, the next item on the agenda is item number 14, election for the City Council of Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem to serve the City of Paris for the next year. I'll first take the nominations for the mayor.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Washman.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, I'll take the nominations for the Mayor Pro Tem.
I'd like to nominate Sue Lancaster.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item on the agenda is item number 15, discuss flooding of homes in city areas, take action on appropriating funds from the general fund reserves and other sources for drainage improvement in an effort to avoid future occurrences. This item was placed on the agenda by me. I want to start with some of the pictures over here which we have placed on it. There's a huge slew of pictures actually which we could have placed, but we have not placed in the interest of time. But consider it that anyone who has the pictures, we have most of the pictures ourselves, and I just want people to see some of them. So if we can breeze through some of the pictures. This was the state of affairs. And there are many more, but I've not put all of them. So my presentation starts. Over the last few weeks, severe thunderstorms poured down large amounts of rainfall, leaving many parts of the city flooded. The damage to the homes and businesses was worse because the ground was saturated from heavy rains earlier in April and May. The ground simply could not handle more water. Equally to blame are years of decay in the city's drainage system. The city staff tries its best to maintain the city's huge drainage problem, but it's a hugely expensive problem. There's simply not enough money in the budget to seriously attack the problem. The city's inability over the years to create an adequate drainage infrastructure has resulted in continuing and unacceptable inconvenience to the residents of Paris. It is time that we as a city council look at ways to resolve this problem. The areas of Paris that have suffered the most are most financially challenged sections where residents generally are inadequately insured as well. Following is the list of all the calls that the Paris Police Department received from the residents who reported their homes were being flooded. I personally visited areas of heavy flooding in my own district, and I'm sure all of the council members have gone around and seen areas in their districts. These are we've put, not every call is listed over here, but just for people to see roundabout the number of calls that were received is listed there. The council needs to take immediate action to assure that our residents' flooding issues are resolved. Over the next few years, we must come up with a drainage plan that ensures that incidents like these are minimized. Our financial status in a nutshell, I want everyone to know where we stand as of right now and where we are planning to go. The city so far has enjoyed a sound financial status. We have been able to meet most of our requirements and to pay our debt in a timely fashion. We've been able to do a $45 million water and sewer bond that is progressing well for the most part, with some glitches here and there, and that are already being addressed by the city staff. We have kept our taxes down compared to other cities with similar population. Actually, for the 5 years that I've been on the council, there has not been a single year that we have raised taxes. Actually, we've brought taxes down, other than I think last year where we just maintained them, we didn't bring them down. But we have kept the taxes, and even when you compare it to other cities, as I said, our taxes are still lower. Attached in the next slide is where we stand with our committed debt. As seen by the year 2020, go to the next slide for just a second. I want everyone to see from 2016 to 2023, this is some of the debt service that we have. 2016 is 1,071,023. The major dip that one sees is after 3.5 years, which is in 2020, where our debt service goes down from 1,080,000 to 632,000. Go back, if you can, please. As seen by 2020, 3 years from now, we will have a reduction in our payment by $460,000 a year. A 1 cent increase in the city's tax rate will raise approximately $148,000, which City Finance Director Gene Anderson says will cover a debt of payment of about $1.8 million. At this point, I'm not trying to suggest by any means that we are raising the taxes. I think as it is, everyone's gotten a tax bill recently, from the tax assessor, which is higher than what it always has been. But I'm just going over what are our options at this point. A 1 cent raise in taxes would amount to about $8 for an average household. When I say an average household, a house costing about $80,000 will end up paying $8 more per year if the case was to raise taxes. Now, I think as all of us as elected officials, none of us want to bear the brunt of being told that during our time taxes were raised. However, one must remember that you people have elected us, and our primary responsibility is not just re-election. Our primary responsibility is also the fact that what our actions that we take help you in the long run. So yes, it is bad to have a tax hike, a tax raise during your time, but I would sincerely request that that's not the way of thinking about it. I think when the council and the budget comes, when we start thinking about the next budget, we should think and make sure that what is more important to us, what is more important to our residents. Next slide, please. My recommendations moving forward is that the council must immediately implement a citywide drainage improvement plan. The financing of this plan is lowering, number one is lowering the required minimum reserve from our current 5-month reserve of operating expenses to a 4-month, freeing approximately $1.84 million for drainage. Down the road, when the time for our budget comes, we can discuss further options. One can take 2 avenues. One can take the avenue of maybe going up on the tax rate by 1 cent. And obviously one will have to go through public hearings on this. Or the other choice would be that to wait for the next 3 years when our debt payment goes down, which is year 2020, at that point we will be able to fund it. I'm not sure whether the residents of this community want to do that. I'm not sure whether the council wants to do that. Either way, I think it is some thoughts that need to be given into it, and one needs to think a little bit more about it before any of it is done. However, the one thing that we can easily do as a council at this point is to reduce our operating expenses from the current 5 months of operating expenses to 4 months. It'll release $1.84 million, and we can at least start addressing this problem. Now, this will not be a big dent in the problem, but the thing about it is that what we have estimated is, and these again are just rough estimate, that it'll take at least about $8 million to resolve or make a significant dent in the drainage issues in the town, which means development of a plan, which means engineering of that plan, which means implementation of that plan. So the council needs to seriously think on which ways to go, and we will discuss this more at budget time. But I think this problem is a very acute problem. It really needs to be addressed at this point, and one of the ways we can address is to reduce our reserves by 1 month. Next slide, please. As I said, 1 month of general fund reserve will give us $1.8 million, and down the road we may think about going up by a cent. At this point, what I'd like to do is that all of you have heard what the residents have faced, and I'd like to make a motion to reduce our general fund reserve from 5 months to 4 months, and let this $1.806141 million be released primarily to be used for correction of the drainage issues in the city. So that's my motion. I need a second.
I second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? No. Motion carries. So that was one of the items that I had. Now, to all those who have come and talked about it, it's just a beginning, and hopefully we'll get it corrected. Item number 16 is, I've not skipped, right?
That's correct.
Discuss and act on an ordinance authorizing the sale of property at 811 Bonham Street, which is the old police station. Mr. Gottman.
The old police station, of course, is in very bad repair, and specifically the biggest issue is there's widespread asbestos there. In the past, the cost of abating the asbestos is more than the building itself is worth. Therefore, when we advertise this for bid, just like you would a regular property, and the bid on face value may seem ridiculous for $1, but it's worth less than zero. The reason that the person who's wanting to buy it is he actually runs his own environmental remediation company, so he can do it himself for a lot cheaper than somebody else could. The idea is to fix that building up, to remediate the asbestos, and then get it back into shape where it can be used by somebody else. It's a really good deal for us to get that old building back to where it's functional and also paying property taxes on that site.
So you recommend doing it?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion on this? I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? No.
Question. Who's the bidder? Who did that dollar?
Can't you name? I don't know off the top of my head. It's in the
You don't give a building away for $1 unless you let people know who the bidder was. I need to know who the bidder is.
It was One Priority Environmental Service, Inc.
One Priority Environmental Service, Inc.
Yes.
There must be a name of a person involved with this One Priority, Inc.
The person signing the bid was someone named Mo Abdallah.
Mo Abdallah.
Yes.
Okay, are they local?
I don't know.
I think we better rebid this, maybe. I really do. That's all I have to say, but that ain't good, $1. I don't care how much asbestos is in it. Reconsider.
Does anyone want to reconsider?
No, sir.
No. Okay. The motion carries. If I can please ask to move item number 19 next, because there's some troopers standing here. I'm sure they have work to do, so I'm sure they have come for this item. So let's move item. I'd like to make a motion to move item 19 up.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 19 is discuss and act on resolution of City Council of City of Paris, Texas in support of dedication of a portion of US Highway 82 from the 4200 block of Lamar Avenue in the City of Paris eastward to Lamar County City Line as Trooper Jeffrey Nichols Memorial Highway. So first of all, our condolences to you, and we're happy that you're here, and the discussion is open for the council if anyone wants to say anything. In that case, I'll take a motion on this item.
I make a motion, we.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Going back to the agenda. Receive presentation from Nugent Strategies and Solutions LLC regarding the 2016 water and wastewater cost of service study.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Chris Eckroot. I'm with Nugent Strategies and Solutions. We were retained this year to perform the city's annual water and sewer cost of service study. And I'm here to make a brief presentation over that this evening. This study is required annually as a condition of your contractual agreements with your wholesale customers. And I would remind you that when we do this study, the contract customers' rates are based on your actual expenditures from the prior fiscal year, whereas when we evaluate retail rates, we evaluate those based on your current budget for fiscal year 2016. One of the key drivers or key elements that we look at as part of this study is the city's rate maintenance policy. This was a policy that was established in 2010 that set certain financial metrics that should be met with regards to your water and sewer rates. And you can see those on the screen right now. At this time, your available funds and your rates are sufficient to satisfy this policy. So this year we are recommending no change to the water and wastewater rates. I would note that any lowering of the current water and wastewater rates, that would violate the established debt service coverage policy that you have within your rate maintenance policy. So again, this year we're recommending no change. I do want to point out that it is our opinion that it's important that you abide by and provide funding in accordance with this policy. A failure to do so could impact your bond rating, which ultimately has an impact on your interest rate that you get when you borrow funds. So this is a very important policy that we recommend that you maintain and follow. As far as your revenue need, it's basically unchanged year over year. That's an indication that the city has done a very good job in maintaining the cost of providing water and sewer services. So again, on a combined basis, your rates are sufficient at this time. We're not recommending any changes. As I do every year, I do provide a comparison of where you stand with regards to a comparator group of municipalities. On this slide, the blue portion of the bar is the water fee for a 5,000 gallon customer. On the right-hand side, the green part is the fee for a 5,000 gallon wastewater customer. And you see where the city falls right now. A 5,000 gallon customer on a combined basis would pay $63.46. I would also note this is based on the latest Texas Municipal League survey, which was in 2015 was the latest data we had. TML will be coming out with an updated survey, so it's likely these numbers will change in the coming months. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any of the council members have any questions?
No.
Okay. This is an action item to adopt? Jean? No, just information. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So the bottom line is there's no increase in rates? Oh, thank you. All right. Item number 18 is discuss and act on an ordinance approving a negotiated settlement between Atmos City Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corporation Mid-Tex Division regarding the company's 2016 rate review mechanism filings, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustment consistent with the negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the settlement tariff to the just and reasonable and in the public interest, requiring the company to reimburse ACSC's reasonable rate-making expenses, determining that this ordinance was passed in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Open Meetings Act, adopting a saving clause, declaring an effective date, and requiring delivery of this ordinance to the company and ACSC's legal counsel.
Mayor and council.
Can you explain first in simple words?
Yeah.
Basically, back March 1st, Atmos requested a rate increase. And that rate increase was reviewed by an organization that's made up of cities within Texas served by Atmos. They have experts that go in and review that rate increase and negotiate if they think that it's too much. Those negotiations resulted in a $5.5 million reduction in the amount that they originally requested. Otherwise, they found it was justified. So the ordinance that you have before you does grant them a rate increase, but not as much as they originally requested, but only that which the committee and its negotiation believed was justified. So the staff recommends that you do approve the ordinance as it's presented.
Any questions by the council? No. Motion item? I'll make a motion to approve.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, motion carries. Item number 20, discuss and act on ordinance of the City Council, City of Paris, Texas, creating a municipal setting designation within the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction, providing a penalty clause, providing a savings clause, and providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. Yes, sir.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to give you Bob Furman. He's our Weaver Booz engineer on the landfill closure on Old Steelhouse Road. He can give you some information as the slide shows.
Okay, the city has owned a landfill since 1961. The landfill is still not closed. The landfill received waste until 1982. In 1983, it was discovered that there were volatile organic compounds in the groundwater on the landfill property and adjacent to it. This is an aerial view of the landfill. It's an old trench and burn landfill, so they put trash in there and then they fire it off and burn it down. And at some time, they must have used like dry cleaning fluid to light that trash, and so the dry cleaning fluid got into the groundwater, and that brings us to the problem that we have today. Next slide. Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. And what I just said kind of summarizes what's on that slide. Let's go on to the next one. In 2008, we sampled all 29, well, we inventoried 29 wells and we sampled 22 of them around the landfill. And there were still volatile organic compounds present in the groundwater around the landfill. Last year, we did the same. And lo and behold, the volatile organic compound concentrations had dropped, but they're still up above what they call the MCL, which is the maximum concentration level that EPA and the state allows us to have in water and have that water still be safe. So what can we do about this to solve the problem? We could install a slurry wall, which is an impenetrable clay curtain around the landfill, but it's very expensive. We just installed one for the City of Farmers Branch, and it cost about $2 million. We could do a bioremediation project, which would take probably decades to complete, and would run into the low millions of dollars also. I have a better idea. Jerry McDaniel and I are recommending that the city apply a municipal setting designation to the landfill property. A municipal setting designation is a resolution by the City Council that says that no monitor wells will be installed on this property. At this time, there are no wells on the property, nor are there any wells within 5 miles of the property. The property must be within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city. Both of these are true. That means that we can pass a resolution that says no water wells on this property will ever be there. And if you do that, I think the total cost will be on the order of about $80,000, and about 40 of that has been spent so far. Any questions?
Jerry, you want to add anything to it?
No, this landfill is way past getting closed. This is with Bob's and Weaver Booz Engineering Services has recommended doing this. We have also do we have that letter from Lamar County? We had a letter from Lamar County. We've got to get it updated. That and part of that closing, doing the no drilling of water within a half-mile perimeter area of that landfill, that they can supply domestic drinking water, which they can, and have agreed to that they would do that. TCEQ, as far as stock ponds, the groundwater stock ponds are still approved. No problem with that. However, the ground there is very acidic. It's high in pH. That just be kind of would the cows even drink it or livestock drink it? That'd be their call. But that's kind of where we stand, and in an effort to get this thing closed in the manner that we need it closed without spending those millions of dollars. This is kind of our first stab at trying to get this done.
And this is perfectly legal and acceptable
Yes,
by all municipal laws, etc.
yes, it's under the Health and Safety Code.
Okay.
There are several landfills that have been closed through this process in the state of Texas. Most of them are in the larger population areas so far. This will be the first one of a smaller city that I'm aware of, but it's still, like you said, within the state rules.
Any of the council members have any questions or concerns?
Is there any chance, as the years go by, the pollution will go down and this could be rescinded, or is it long term? How long are we looking at doing this, basically?
You write this into the deed, sir. This is just like deed recording. It's just in this particular vehicle, you have the state of Texas approving your plan to do this.
So
But it's indefinitely, that was the question, really.
You still have the option to do other things with the property, and there are other state rules that apply as far as reuse of landfill properties. Basically, you have to control for landfill gas in any structures that you put on the property. But if you wanted to make this into a park or a hike and bike trail or something like that, it would certainly be possible.
Anybody else?
If I can cut off, just when you get through with whatever questions you may have, we are recommending that you table this until next week because of a lot of technical issues and so forth with the ordinance and the description of the piece of property. So we'll be ready to go next Monday, but we don't want to rush it in case there's something wrong and have to bring it back to you. So
I'll make a motion to table the item.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 21, discuss and act on an ordinance of Council City of Paris, Texas, amending Chapter 23, City Lakes of the Paris Code of Ordinances by amending Section 23.28, camping is heretofore amended, providing a saving clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
this is very quickly, the committee that this council appointed a couple of months ago suggested allowing camping and even building some camping sites out there at Lake Crook. Current ordinance, it's illegal, so we just need to rescind that ordinance.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a couple of questions. Will it be someone that will be, is it going to be for free for citizens of the parish?
We haven't set a fee, so the plan now is that we would not charge for that. You would have to have a permit so we know who's out there and so forth.
And will we have like gates locked at a certain time?
Yes, and that's the case now.
Because I
So
was
that'll
just concerned
continue.
about safety
That'll
issues.
continue to be the case.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'll make a motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, item number 22, discuss and act on a request from Lamar County Humane Association to allow the donations on the water bill for the association. Mr. Anderson.
We had a request from the Lamar County Humane Association to see if the council would approve adding them to the city's water bill like we do Trail to Paris and Keep Paris Beautiful, and allow people to use that mechanism to make voluntary donations. And of course, that's something that council would have to approve, so we're just bringing that request to you and asking for direction, basically, if you want to do that. It is physically possible to fit it on the bill. It would require some modification to the bill. It would cost us about $375, but other than that, it should be fairly easy to do.
Ms. Lancaster, this is one of your projects.
Well, I very much support our Humane Association and think they do a wonderful job for us, and so I support this.
Anybody else on the council have any questions?
No, I think it's a great idea because they are in need of all of the help they can get.
Dr. Clifford?
I'm completely in favor of it.
Mr. Trinado?
Favor of it.
Mr. Jenkins?
Okay with it.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
Okay. All right, we'll
So
go forward then.
we'll make a motion to,
I make a motion that we
I'll
accept
second it.
this.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, item number 23, discuss and act on extension of the home loan program, discuss development of expanding the program into downtown. This is a program that we had started last year or the year before?
2014.
2014. And the program was that when we were taking down dilapidated homes, we were spending about $2,500 on the dilapidated homes, and the council came up with the idea that what we will do is we will give a guarantee to the local banks. If people wanted to take a loan of $5,000, the city would guarantee $2,500 of that loan so that people can do improvements to their homes. And there were specific requirements for that, and people could go to the bank, get that loan, and the city would have, in case of default, the city would have paid about $2,500, which we would have paid anyway if we were to take those dilapidated homes down. The program was very, very successful. There was not a single person who defaulted on the loan, so all the city's guarantee is still available. The city manager, met with the bankers again this last week. They were very much in favor of continuing this program, And so we would, with the council's permission, that program we would like to continue. Now, I want to add one other thing to that. One other thing which was discussed in that meeting was the dilapidated structures, some of them in the downtown area, particularly the buildings. And we wanted to do something to help those buildings out too, and owners of those buildings. That program is not completely developed yet, but we are working on development of a program where there'll be a little bit of a bigger amount that the banks will sponsor. The city will also have to sponsor a little bit of a higher amount than what we had done for the home loan program. But if people would be interested in improvement of roofs of the buildings or the facades of the buildings, then that money could be used for that. Mr. Godwin will give some more information about it if he wants to. It's not completely set up yet, but we are in the works. And Mr. Godwin.
Yeah, nothing really new to add other than it's been a really successful program, and to expand that into some other things where we really need it. Downtown, especially things like sprinkler systems, roofs, and asbestos in some cases would be great if we could help folks get over that hurdle of developing or redeveloping downtown.
So we will bring that part of the program back once we have discussed it further and we've gotten some further input. One of the things that the banks were recommending is that if we can advertise this a little bit further so that the program can continue on. And number two was they wanted, as in the past, they wanted a specific city employee to be deputed to it so that they can identify which are the homes that people are interested in fixing, and they can come and go to the bank after getting a letter from the city. So I think Robert Talley is...
Correct. Robert's the program manager for that.
Is the program manager, and we would continue with that. But we'd ask help from the media people that the program is still available, and it's been successful. So if anyone wants to participate in it, this was just for information. But do we need a council approval again for this?
I don't think so.
All right. So that's that. The time now is 6:33 p.m. And we will go into executive session pursuant to 551.071 of Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney to receive legal advice from the city attorney about pending or contemplated litigation and or matters in which the duty of an attorney to his clients under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with this chapter as follows. Glicks DB as Tri-State Iron Metal versus City of Paris. Time is 6:33 p.m. and we'll go into executive session. The time is 6:44 p.m. and we are out of the executive session. The city attorney gave an update on give legal advice to the council on the Glick lawsuit, and discussions will continue with them. Item number 26 is consider and approve future events for city council, city staff pursuant to resolution 2004-081.
And three things right quick. One is, this is also EMS week as well as police week. Number two, May the 26th, there's I don't know what the name of it is, I don't have all the details. Mr. Firestone was going to talk about this and he had to be gone today. But it's a day of poverty or something named similar to that. It's going to be at the Oak Park Methodist Church. And all of the council members will be getting invited if you haven't already been invited. And if you already have been, then I'm sorry for being redundant, but you should be getting some more information about that. But if you're available to have that on your calendar on May the 26th, I think it's from like 11 to 2, something like that. And then also there's an airport development committee that's including members from the PEDC, the Chamber of Commerce, the airport board. We need one member from the council, and you can't talk about it tonight because it's not on your agenda, but sometime let me know if Mayor or if one of the rest of you wants to be the city council representative on that, please. Thank you.
All right. So we can decide tonight on that item?
No, sir.
Yes. Okay, with that said, since Mr. Pickford is not here and Mr. Frierson is not here, I'll make a motion to item 27.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.